talk about the group as a whole and sort of how you see them fitting in?
Yeah, really good class. Obviously, it starts with Shatrice White, and she's rated 1 as the 15th best kid in the country, the top 3 post kid in the country. And this summer, we didn't see a 5 that was better than her, honestly, in her class. I think she's as good as 5 as in the country. Great hands and run the floor and physical and tough and plays really hard. And she loves to practice, loves to get better. Brooke Kissinger is a shooting guard from Nebraska, really can shoot the 3. The 2 high school games I went to last year, she made 8 threes in both of those games. Unlimited range and good feet, and going to get better as a player and just really driven. She's in shooting every day and wanting to get better. And then Amara Coleman, point guard from Homewood Flossmoor, point guard, off guard, and just really athletic, probably as fast as anybody in the country with going one line to end line to end line, and really talented. So I'm really thankful. I got a great recruiting class, really great staff to make this happen. And it's our 2nd year in a row getting a top 25 class, which is obviously really important to the future of this program. We just got to stack a couple of recruiting classes on top of each other and then help them get better and build some depth.
And we like to read a lot into these things, and we see, for example, Shatrice, where you go into Nebraska, you get one of the best players in the country from under their nose, essentially. We like to read into that and say, well, this is symbolic of kind of where this program's going and the clout you guys are able to build up. Do you read into that sort of the same way, or we kind of make
obviously we feel really fortunate to have her. Duke offered her, and Notre Dame and all the top schools, every Big 10, every Big 12, and obviously for us to go in there and get her over those schools, over Nebraska, who made the Sweet 16, is a big get for us, and obviously important to our success. And one of the reasons we came here is to go after the top players in the country, and we feel like we've got some in this class, and certainly starting with Shatrice.
Along those same lines, how would you explain how you guys got a top 25 recruiting class?
Yeah, well, one of the things, we've built a great relationship with Dan Lesting, the AAU coach, and we'd recruited players at Green Bay. Kylie Simmons actually transferred here from that same program. And so as soon as I got the job here, I called him, and he said, well, now you got a shot at Shatrice. We probably weren't getting her at Green Bay, and Mike DeVillis has a great relationship with Dan, and we've just known Shatrice. And then last fall, she came and visited and said, I want to go somewhere where they show me they want me. And I said, Shatrice, nobody is going to show you that like us. And we drove 6 times over to watch her play, 8 hours, watch a game, drove 8 hours back, and then, sending her tweets every day and Facebook and text, and now that we can do that. So just doing all those things to help recruit her. And she felt like we wanted her more than everybody else, and we showed that. And then just to see where our program went, to go from 9 wins to 19 wins, and beat Nebraska at Nebraska. And as she watched the Big 10 games, we kept talking about see how we're going to get you the ball and how you fit, and so that was, all those things were a big deal.
Last year at this time, you talked about we're not just going after 5-star kids because they're 5-star kids. You want the right kids that want to be here. How do you balance that, though? I mean, you don't just want to take any 2-star kid that wants to be Illinois. I mean, how do you balance getting the right kind of talent with getting the right kids?
Yeah, one of the things we say is we're not going to sacrifice character and integrity for talent. So we've got 3 kids that are high character, high integrity, and I think the best thing about these 3 kids is they're really driven. They're way more driven than the average high school kid, and way more driven than other schools that are other classes. And so we're really excited about just where they want to be, how they play for an AAU coach in Nebraska that's as intense and passionate as any coach out there, and then Amara Coleman playing for Tony Smith, his passion and intensity. These kids have been coached, and they want to get better, and they want it. They're really driven, and so they're going to come here and fit in right away and do really well.
I know getting a player like Shatrice is great, but how important was it to get another post player? It's kind of a position you guys are looking at.
Yeah, we definitely need some more 5s, and obviously we feel good about Jackie Grant and Sarah Livingston. I was looking at the media guide today, and the returning players, we don't have a post player in the returning players. So our 2 freshmen this year are really important. Shatrice next year give us a little bit of depth at the post position. We'll play 4 guards at a time, but we feel like Jackie and Sarah can play with Shatrice as well, and which will make us a lot bigger next year and give us a lot more length.
Obviously, Amara had some ties to the program with Cattenhead and Tate. How big of an impact was that on the recruiting process?
Yeah, I think that helped us, obviously, Jalen being here and liking it. And then she came down and watched practice. She had been on several other official visits, and her mom said, your warm-up was more intense than the other people's practices. And another school told her, we don't really care about defense, and she wants to be in a program that cares about both ends of the ball, that plays extremely hard. It plays fast as well, because that fits her. She can really go. On Friday night of the September viewing period, she was as fast with the basketball and as aggressive as anybody we saw in that weekend, and we had a really, really great night on Friday night as they beat a Michigan crossover team that's pretty talented.